Hi guys, welcome to Soiree Academy. Today we're going to teach you how to design an event using Canva. It's actually Canva Pro. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up into your browser and you're going to open your Canva app. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to click on the right top hand corner on create a design and choose your size. I usually choose Instagram post just because it works for me, but you can choose any size that you want. And then the next thing that you're going to do once your project opens is you're actually going to go back to Google and you're going to Google whatever image you want. So for this example, I'm going to Google just like a round polyester tablecloth and pull up the Google results, and then I'm going to click on image and select the one that I want. I think for this example, I'm just going to design like a quick little Minnie Mouse table just so you guys can kind of see how I put it together, but this is not a design that I previously picked out, so we're just kind of browsing. So once you have selected your image, you're just going to save it, and then you basically just keep Googling all of the things that you're going to need. I usually go in order of how I build my tables when I'm actually setting up. So I do like my linens, my toppers, my centerpieces, like everything that I think I'm gonna need before I actually go into Canva, and then I just save them onto my laptop. So right here we're just selecting like a Minnie Mouse option. This is the event I'm creating is on Canva Pro, which is a paid subscription. You can't really do it on the free subscription. They don't have the background eraser, and you guys will see what I'm talking about right now. But it is worth the money. I think it's definitely worth the money because of the time that it saves you meeting with clients and designing and going back and forth. This way it'll take you like 20-30 minutes to send them a few different designs, so it's pretty easy. So now we're just looking for runners for our Minnie Mouse table. And for runners, you wanna, well, I always try to find front facing runners, kind of like this, except you don't want the logo on it or like the watermark. And you guys will see why once we start setting up the table. But usually I don't do the ones that are facing sideways. I do them only if they're front facing. But you guys can decide if you guys want to design it a different way. That's totally up to you. This one looks pretty good. Well, maybe. This is a good way to send your clients different versions too. So you can always save more than one runner or more than one color if you're not sure what they're gonna like, and then send them a few different options as far as mock-ups and have them pick. I do that for clients. It works a lot easier than just expecting them to tell you what they want out of the blue if you guys do let them pick. So this one's the one that I'm gonna save right here. And then you guys want to make sure that whenever you guys are choosing images, one, the quality of the image has to be really good. So it has to be, it can't be blurry, or they can't be like shadows or things like that. I usually like to pick the images that have a white background just because it's so much easier to do it, but it doesn't necessarily have to have a white background. As long as the image that you're trying to save is like front and center and the quality of the image is very good, then it'll work. And then also pay attention to the angles too, guys. So if you guys are grabbing, for example, the linen that we grabbed in the beginning, it's kind of facing towards the side view or like the front view of it. So you don't want to get something that's like a top view or at an angle, because then your mock-up is going to look like it doesn't fit together if things are facing different ways. So this one looks like it's kind of like a front view. And I usually send like kind of like a preliminary design to my clients. So whenever or after they book, then I go ahead and I do a little mock-up like this for them. I don't really take too much time putting it together for the first version, just because I know that they're always going to want to change it. So I kind of just put together an overview of what my idea is for their event, and then you know, let them know that that's the initial design, and they can give me their feedback, or you know, they're at a perfect time to change anything if they want to change colors or change layouts or anything like that, or add items. This is like also a perfect way to upsell clients, because you can always send them a picture of what they ordered and then send them a picture of, you know, a setup that includes more items, and let them know that that's an upgrade. Most people will go for the upgrade just because it looks nicer. But once you have all of your items picked out, we're just picking out our bow now, or a chair sash. I call it a bow. With these, it's kind of tricky because you have to make sure that you find one where the chair will edit out. So like this one here doesn't have a chair in the picture. If you guys do find an image that you like, or you do need one, another app that we use is Eraser, background eraser. So you guys can always get that and delete the background of anything you don't want, and then put it into Canva. But usually I just try to find an image where Canva will automatically erase the background, because the other one takes a long time. So this is a perfect example of one that doesn't have a white background. So you can see here that there's like wall behind it, or there's like a, you know, there's like shadow and wall and stuff. But the image itself, or the part that we want, is like front and center and very clear. So that one would work on Canva as far as erasing the background. So once you have all your images, you go back to your Canva project, and then you click on the uploads on the left hand side, and you click on upload an image or video. You go to device if you saved it on your laptop, and then you just choose the image that you want. It doesn't show on the screen here, but it did pop up my saved images on my laptop. So once once it uploads, you just select it, and you kind of, you know, make it the size that you want, and then you click on effects and background remover, and that will automatically remove any of the white behind it. You're not going to be able to tell on this one because it's white on white, but once we start adding other images, you'll see what I mean. You kind of just place it wherever you want, and then you upload your next image. I usually go in order of how I set up during events, just because that way I don't forget. It's kind of habit to set up a certain way or in a certain order. So now we're uploading our table runner, and this is why I like my table runners front facing, because whenever you delete the background, it's really easy to line it up with your tablecloth. So here we just deleted the backdrop, and then we just kind of size it. Make sure there's no actual like sizer or like size ratio comparison on Canva, so you just kind of have to eyeball it and make sure that it looks like the size that it would be in real life. You don't want to make something like really big and then your chair is like really small or something like that. So I usually just place it the size that I think it would look in person, and then just adjust it. Obviously it's not going to be perfect, but for the most part. So this one here, Canva does have kind of like a guide to tell you where the center is. So if you get too close to the center, it won't let you kind of like move it around. It just keeps going to the center. So you can always group items in a different location and then move them to where you want if that's happening. And then you just keep uploading your images or the pieces that you want for your setup, and then adding them as you'd like. This is the way that I set it up to send it to clients. I know there's other people that do it a lot more elaborate or a lot simpler. It's really just, you know, it depends on your taste and your creativity. You can get as creative as you want with it, but usually this way it takes me about 15 or 20 minutes to do a mock-up for a client, so it does save a lot of time compared to doing them in person. And then this one here, this is the one that had the wall background, so you can see it completely deleted it, and then you just kind of size it to the table that you want. This is not a design that I had picked out before, guys, so don't judge me on the actual design. I just kind of picked the first things that I saw would work on Google, but obviously when I'm designing, I take a lot longer picking items and putting it all together and making sure that it looks nice. Sometimes I send them a few different centerpieces on the tables or a few different runners so they can choose. And you just keep adding basically. You guys also want to make sure that when you're adding items, you're not adding anything that you can't get in your inventory. So don't add like a custom vase or something where you don't know where to get the item, because then if your client does choose that picture, you're going to be struggling to buy it. Or do your research before and make sure you know how much it costs before you send it to the client. That way you're not like blowing your budget on something that they picked and you didn't have, or you didn't put in the budget to buy. And then you can always duplicate items, and then click on flip and flip it. The chair is usually the only thing that I duplicate on these, but you can do like charger plates or centerpieces or stuff like that. And you just start laying it out to kind of look like a full setup, how it would in person. One of the things that I like to do is I like to get the images off of Amazon, and then I save the Amazon link. That way if they do choose it, then I know exactly where to go back and get it. And this one here isn't necessarily a piece, but when we do our mock-up or our designs, we do add custom pieces that we make for them. So usually we try to add the theme in other places. So I just added a little Minnie Mouse head to kind of add the theme to the table. And if you guys don't already follow our channel, I know we are a brand new channel, but we do pretty much tutorials and just different like DIYs for event planners and DIY moms or people that are barely starting out in the business. Me and my sister Veronica, we are both event planners. We've been event planners for over 10 years now. So if you guys have any questions, you can always post them in the comments below, or if you guys want to see a video of something specific, then comment it below and we'll make sure to get that uploaded for you guys. And then don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you guys find this useful. So here I'm just trying to get the chair sash to look, you know, pretty even with the chair. Obviously it's not going to be 100% perfect because you're not doing very advanced editing, but we're just adding you know, like the little Minnie Mouse detail. Sometimes your image will be behind something else, so you can always click on position and then bring it to the front and then kind of place it. You can layer your images, so you can push things back and push them back, bring them forward as you'd like to make it look the way that you want it to look. And then you can duplicate them and put them in other places. You can put it like on the centerpiece if you guys wanted to add a Minnie Mouse to your centerpiece, or you know, just kind of move it around your layout, see what looks good. If you guys have like a Cricut or a silhouette, you can always silk screen it or add vinyl to your runners. And then the good thing about Canva is that once you upload the images, they'll stay uploaded. So even though it's kind of hard to find the ones that you're looking for, or like your inventory that you have, once you have it on there, it'll be in your uploads. So you can always scroll back and just look for certain pieces. So right now I'm just looking for my charger plate that I uploaded. So that way you don't have to go into Google every time. Eventually you're just going to have all of your inventory in Canva, and you can just design the events that way. And then this one is not like a perfect, it didn't delete the background completely. There's like a little black piece that's just kind of there. So if you guys want, you can go in and edit it individually. I'm just going to rotate it and kind of take it off of the frame. It's not that big of a deal. Not going to take too long, you know, putting it together. I just basically need the client to see the pieces that I'm thinking and get an idea of what the vision is for the event. And then I usually do my chargers off of the table, and then I just add an arrow to show them that, you know, that's obviously going to be placed on the table. And the reason why I do it this way, where it's facing forward and not laying flat, is because when I add a napkin or I add details to it, they can see more of what the plate setting is going to look like, as opposed to it just being flat in your tiny design. They're not really going to get an idea of what it's going to look like. But you can do it either way. If you guys want to send them both, you can always get an image where it's laying flat and then send it to them that way as well. And I do have other items on there, as you guys can tell. I usually do my head tables, backdrops, balloon garlands, everything on Canva. So if you guys want to see another tutorial of how we do our head tables, then let us know in the comments below as well, and we can do a tutorial on that one. That one's a little bit more complicated, but we can always do a tutorial on that. It's a very similar process, it just takes a lot more steps. And then usually the last thing that I do is I just add a title to it. So if it's like a Minnie Mouse birthday party, then I add Minnie Mouse birthday, or baby shower, or wedding, or whatever it is, just so they can get an idea, and it can kind of bring it all together. And then this is what the final product looks like, and this is what I download. So I go to the top right hand corner and click on download, and then you select download again. Make sure it's on PNG so that it's an image that you're downloading, and then just click download. And that's the image that I sent over to the client in an email, and let them know that that's where their design is going and whether or not they like it.